We know now that in the early years of the 20th century, this world was being watched closely by intelligences greater than man's, yet as mortal as his own. We know now that as human beings busied themselves about their various concerns, they were scrutinized and studied, perhaps almost as narrowly as a man with a microscope might scrutinize the transient creatures that swarm and multiply in a drop of water. With infinite complacence, people went to and fro over the earth about their little affairs, serene in the assurance of their dominion over this small, spinning fragment of solar driftwood, which by chance or design, man has inherited out of the dark mystery of time and space. Yet across an immense ethereal gulf, minds that are to our minds as ours are to the beasts in the jungle, intellects vast, cool, and unsympathetic, regarded this earth with envious eyes and slowly and surely drew their plans against us. In the 39th year of the 20th century came the Great Disillusionment. Near the end of October, business was better. The war scare was over. More men were back at work. Sales were picking up. On this particular evening, October 30th, the Crosley service estimated that 32 million people were listening in on radio.
Change in temperature. A slight atmospheric disturbance of undetermined origin is reported over Nova Scotia, causing a low-pressure area to move down rather rapidly over the northeastern states, bringing a forecast of rain accompanied by winds of light gale force. Maximum temperature 66, minimum 48. This weather report comes to you from the Government Weather Bureau. We take you now to the Meridian Room in the Hotel Park Plaza in downtown New York, where you will be entertained by the music of Raymond Raquello and his orchestra.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. From the Meridian Room in the Park Plaza Hotel in New York City, we bring you the music of Raymond Raquello and his orchestra. The touch of the Spanish, Raymond Raquello leads off with La Compancita.
I was here before that was even there. Yeah. And, if you want to see it, I'll give you my card. Yeah, it's the same. I'll probably
Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our program of dance music to bring you a special bulletin from the Intercontinental Radio News. At 20 minutes before 8 Central Time, Professor Farrell of the Mount Jennings Observatory, Chicago, Illinois, reports observing several explosions of incandescent gas occurring at regular intervals on the planet Mars. The spectroscope indicates the gas to be hydrogen and moving toward the Earth with enormous velocity. Professor Pearson of the observatory at Princeton confirms Farrell's observations and describes the phenomenon as, quote, like a jet of blue flame shot from a gun, unquote.
I thought they already sold it.
We now return you to the music of Raymond Raquello, playing for you in the Meridian Room of the Park Plaza Hotel, situated in downtown
like 60
New
or
York.
70 million.
They're just waiting. They just keep holding the city hostage.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, they bought 2 blocks. And they deeded this to them.
Now a tune that never loses favor, the ever-popular Stardust, Raymond Raquello and his orchestra.
All right, thank you, I will. Which one? Oh, no, Maurice Roberts.
Ladies and gentlemen, following on the news given in our bulletin a moment ago, the Government Meteorological Bureau has requested the large observatories of the country to keep an astronomical watch on any further disturbances occurring on the planet Mars. Due to the unusual nature of this occurrence, we have arranged an interview with the noted astronomer, Professor Pearson, who will give us his views on this event. In a few moments, we will take you to the Princeton Observatory at Princeton, New Jersey. We return you until then with the music of Raymond Raquello and his orchestra. We are ready now to take you to the Princeton Observatory at Princeton, where Carl Phillips, our commentator, will interview Professor Richard Pearson, famous astronomer. We take you now to Princeton, New Jersey.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Carl Phillips speaking to you from the observatory at Princeton. I'm standing in a large semicircular room, pitch black except for an oblong split in the ceiling. Through this opening, I can see a sprinkling of stars that cast a kind of frosty glow over the intricate mechanism of the huge telescope. Ticking sound you hear, vibration of the clock. Professor Pearson stands directly above me on a small platform, peering through the giant lens. I'll ask you to be patient, ladies and gentlemen, during any delay that may arise during our interview. Besides the ceaseless watch of the heavens, Professor Pearson may be interrupted by telephone or other communication. During this period, he is in constant touch with the astronomical centers of the world. Professor, may I begin our questions?
Any time, Mr. Phillips.
Professor, would you please tell our radio audience exactly what you see as you observe the planet Mars through your telescope?
Nothing unusual at the moment, Mr. Phillips. A red disk swimming in a blue sea. Transverse stripes across the disk. Quite distinct now because Mars happens to be at the point nearest the Earth in opposition, as we call it.
In your opinion, what do these transverse stripes signify, Professor?
Not canals, I can assure you, Mr. Phillips. Although that's the popular conjecture of those who imagine Mars to be inhabited. From a scientific viewpoint, the stripes are merely the result of atmospheric conditions peculiar to the planet.
Then you're quite convinced, as a scientist, that living intelligence as we know it does not exist on Mars?
Say the chances against it are 1,000 to 1.
And yet, how do you account for these gas eruptions occurring on the surface of the planet at regular intervals?
Come out quickly.
Phillips, I cannot account.
Come out. I will finish off these creatures.
Dale, Doc, you don't know how glad I am.
Don't touch me, Black Gordon. I hate traitors. Kissing that hussy.
You don't understand, Dale. It was Azura's last wish. We thought we were dying.
I wish you both had.
Dale.
This way to our hideout, Queen Azura. You are our prisoner.
Did you get your colored poster stamps in the Comic Weekly last Sunday? The Comic Weekly, as you know, is the picture section of the Hearst Sunday newspapers. And each week it contains a half page of wonderful full-color poster stamps of animals, ships, American history, famous persons, flags, and many other interesting subjects. Each poster stamp is 2 1/2 inches long by 1 3/4 inches wide, 6 times as large as the regular 3-cent stamp. I have one in front of me right now. It's a colorful picture of the Santa Maria with sail set, and below it is an inscription which reads as follows. Santa Maria, Columbus is its flagship. It set sail from Spain with the Pinta and the Nina on August 3rd, 1492, and landed on the Bahama Islands on October 12th, 1492. Every stamp is different. All you have to do to become a member of the new Poster Stamp Collectors Club is cut out these poster stamps each week and paste them carefully in your album. The official album of the Poster Stamp Collectors Club should now be available at all leading stores. So be sure and get your poster stamps in the Comic Weekly section of your Hearst newspaper next Sunday. And next week at the same time, another chapter in the amazing interplanetary adventures of Flash Gordon. presenting the amazing interplanetary adventures of Flash Gordon. Last week, Flash Gordon returned from a raid on Queen Azura's palace and received another electrical treatment from Dr. Zarkov to make him invisible. The treatment was extra strong so that Flash could stay longer for his next raid on the palace. Meanwhile, Azura recovered from the lithium potion which Khan had given her, and thus his plot was discovered. Azura then ordered Khan locked up, but her commands had just been obeyed when news was brought that the avenging shadow had arrived at the palace. Although Azura had stationed guards shoulder to shoulder in front of the door to her quarters, Flash made his way inside and overpowered Tall. Then, as the soldiers broke down the door at Azura's cry for help and attempted to corner him, Flash leaped to the windowsill and held them at bay with Tall's ray pistol. Then Flash warned Azura that her soldiers and her magic were useless against the avenging shadow, and that he would return. These thrilling adventures come to you as they are pictured each Sunday in the big full-page Comic Weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure. The Comic Weekly, each page printed in full colors, is distributed everywhere as an integral part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. Now we continue the story. As Flash Gordon delivers his defiance of Queen Azura, he leaps through the window. Instantly, the Witch Queen turns to the captain of the guard.
After him, Captain. That shadow is Flash Gordon.
Yes, Your Majesty. After him, soldiers.
Well, why don't you shoot at him, Captain?
We can't see him, Your Majesty.
He just leaped out of that window. He can't be far away.
True, Your Majesty. But if we can't see him, how can we tell where he is?
Oh, fool. You saw the ray pistol he held in his hand when he stood there on the windowsill. Why can't you see the pistol now? That ought to show you his position.
But, Your Majesty, the pistol is nowhere in sight. He must have thrown it away. I'm Flash Gordon. Why don't you come and get me?
There, that was his voice. Where did it come from?
Down there, Your Majesty. But we can't be sure where.
Can't be sure. Fire a volley down there. You may hit him.
It is useless, Your Majesty. He may have run in any one of 4 directions. There is no use wasting ammunition by firing at nothing.
Very well, Captain. You threaten to return. If he does, as a shadow or as a man, you are to shoot to kill. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Majesty. If we see him, we will shoot him down.
Flash Gordon is invisible, but he is alive and whole, the same as we are. You can't see him, but you may be able to touch him. Shoot straight for the voice when you hear it again. That ought to put an end to Flash Gordon.
Yes, Your Majesty. Return to quarters, men. Forward. Move!
Tall, are you all right? Oh, God! Bring that portable revivifier here and revive General Tall.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Any sign of his coming through?
Not yet, Majesty.
Keep that machine working. General Tall must not die.
Meanwhile, back in the woods surrounding the herdsman's cottage, Zarkov hurries to the aid of Dale Arden.
Dale! What has happened? Where are you? Dale!
Oh, don't push me, Dr. Zarkov.
I'm coming to you, Dale, as fast as I can. An ape-man. Do not struggle, Dale. Relax, and the ape-man will think you are dead. Then it will drop you. That's it. Now lie still. I will draw his attention away from you. Now, are you all right, Dale?
Yes, I'm all right.
Now, I'll just put an end to this fellow with my axe, so he won't bother us anymore. Oh!
Oh, he's got you, Dr. Zarkov. Give me the axe.
I cannot, Dale. The beast has it crushed between us. I cannot get it free.
Hold it off a few minutes longer, Dr. Zarkov.
Where are you going, Dale?
To get your ray pistol.
Dale, I am getting weak.
Look, Dr. Zarkov. Relax, relax. Careful, Dr. Zarkov. I don't want to hit you.
I'm free, Dale. Shoot! You hit it. Now kill it. Aim a little below its left shoulder. You got it. Oh, good shooting, Dale. My, that was a close call for both of us.
It certainly was, Dr. Zarkov. Now that it's all over, I'm rather weak.
Oh, come. Do not faint now, Dale. You are all right. Take some deep breaths of air. Ah, that's right. How do you feel now?
I guess I'll be all right now, thanks.
Good. My, what a big creature this ape man is. He is too big to move. So we'll just let him lie where he is.
I wonder if there's a tribe of them around here.
There may be. Perhaps we'd better move to some other place as soon as Flash comes back.
I'd almost forgotten Flash. How long was he intending to be gone this time, Dr. Zarkov?
He did not say, but it should not be much longer. That electrical charge will soon be wearing off.
Oh, I hope Flash won't be foolish enough to stay too long. You warned him about the risk of the charge wearing off.
Yes, Dale. And Flash promised he would not take any unnecessary chances.
But he may be cornered in some part of the palace and be unable to return.
That is true, Dale.
Oh, Dr. Zarkov, let's go to Flash. Let's go and see what's happened to him. I can't stay here and not know.
Steady, Dale. You are just nervous and upset. Flash intended staying away longer than usual this time. We must be patient.
All right, Dr. Zarkov. You know best. I'll wait for him.
That is the way to talk, Dale. Come now. We have not finished getting our firewood. You pick up the pieces of wood as I chop them off.
Obeying Azura's orders, the guard continues to work over the unconscious General Tall. Suddenly, his efforts are rewarded by...
Queen Azura.
You have revived him. Good. You may go now.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Charles.
I am with you, Your Majesty. Where am I? What happened? Oh, my head.
The shadow hit you over the head with a flagon.
Now I remember. The shadow. You were struggling with it. Where is it? I'll pin it to the wall.
It's gone, Charles. It was Flash Gordon, made invisible by some magic of that Earth scientist.
I wish I had had a chance to get at that Flash Gordon.
You did, and he knocked you unconscious.
Curse him. My turn will come. What happened to the door?
The soldiers broke it down trying to capture Flash Gordon.
All the guards you posted out there couldn't catch him?
No, they marched across the room shoulder to shoulder, driving the shadow before them. And suddenly he spoke from that window sill.
Now, fools! Why didn't they shoot as they marched?
He held them at bay with your ray pistol.
If only I'd been able to take charge, no ray pistol would have stopped me from capturing him.
A flagon did.
I was taken by surprise. I hadn't time to draw my ray pistol. You should have called me sooner, Azura.
Well, you will have another chance with him, Charles. He'll return.
How do you know that, Your Majesty?
He told me so just before he left.
I know how we can capture him, Your Majesty. It is an indirect method, but it can be most effective.
What is it, Charles? How can we capture him?
There is no way of making a person permanently invisible, any more than you can make the drug of forgetfulness permanent.
Go on, Charles. You mean that...
Sometime the magic will wear off and have to be repeated.
I see what you mean. You can get the shadow cornered in a room that has only one door. Lock the door for a long enough time and Flash Gordon will become visible again.
Yes, that is one way, Your Majesty, but not the method I am suggesting.
Then I do not follow you, Charles. What is your method?
While we are waiting for the shadow to reappear, why not capture the source of the magic power?
Wonderful. That is a wonderful plan, Charles. How can you do this?
Very easily, Your Majesty. Of course, we shall take every measure to capture the shadow within the palace. But in the meantime, I shall take a company of soldiers and personally discover and capture that Earth magician, Zarkov, the scientist.
As Powell plots to capture Dr. Zarkov and the scientist and Dale anxiously await Flash Gordon's return, a solitary guard paces back and forth before the iron bars of the cell in which Con, the Hawkman, has been put for safekeeping. The guard pauses and rests his weight on his flame rifle. It is suddenly snatched from under his arm and thrust into his stomach as a voice from nowhere asks,
Captain Con alive? Miss Shadow. Oh, yes. Yes, he is alive. Tell me where he is, or you die.
Oh, yes. Con is in this cell.
Con, are you all right? Yes, I'm all right. Is that you, Frank? Yes, Con. Stand clear of the door. I'm going to melt the lock with this flame rifle. Right. And you'd better stay right where you are, guard, if you want to live. I said you come back, Frank. I tried to leave you because you and the others had deserted me. Desert my friends? Never. I came back especially to find you, Count. We had to leave suddenly. They were melting down our doors. There was no time to waste. That's just what I thought had happened, Black. How is Princess Dale? And Dr. Zarkov? They're well and safe. You'll see them presently. The lock is almost melted. I almost got control of the palace while you were gone. I tried to do it again, but the lithium wore off, and my plot was discovered. That's why I'm here. That was too bad, Con. For a while, it worked beautifully. I had that devil Saul thinking I was Azora's friend. I just gave him something to remember me by. I broke the flagon over his head. Too bad it wasn't his head you broke. I'm not sure I didn't. There wasn't any time to waste finding out, though. Soldiers were on top of me. There. The lock is melted through. Come on out, Con. That's fine, Flash. I certainly am glad to see you. Why, what are you? Flash. Flash. Don't look so startled, Con. Where are you? I hear you, but I can't see you. Zarkov's newest invention made me invisible. Here, take this gun while I bind the guard. Why, how? It certainly is odd to see a rifle suspended in the air. Isn't it? I've been having great sport with the soldiers. Help! Azura! Help! Shut up, guard! I'll shoot you for that. You won't be using that voice of yours for a while. Hurry, Flash. That's why I'm bring Azura. Where's the air voice? I think I got it now. Flash, what is it, Con? I can see your hands. So you can. Zarkov warned me the electrical rays would wear off. We must hurry now. There's no time to lose. Here comes Azura with some more guards. You hold them back with that rifle. I'm going to capture Azura while their attention is centered on you. Stand back, you soldiers of the witch. I'm in charge here. Keep your distance. Stay where you are.
Why did he get out of that cell? Shoot him down, men. What are you waiting for?
As the soldiers battle Khan's merciless fire with the flame rifle, Azura suddenly finds herself grasped by two phantom hands.
Oh, Shadow!
At last, Azura. I've got you in my power.
Next Sunday, you will find these adventures graphically portrayed in full-color action pictures in the Comic Weekly, which is distributed with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. See all these characters and gain the added thrill of knowing them by sight as well as by voice. Flash Gordon, Dale Arden, and Dr. Zarkov, who are from this Earth, and Saul, Azura, Khan, and others who are inhabitants of the planet Bongo, where our story takes place. You will also meet old favorites like Barney Google, Toots and Casper, the Katzenjammer Kids, and many others. So be sure to get the colorful and entertaining Comic Weekly each week with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. And next week at the same time, we'll be back with another chapter in the amazing interplanetary adventures of Flash Gordon. Presenting the amazing interplanetary adventures of Flash Gordon. Last week, Flash Gordon's memory was restored by the lithium antidote administered by Dr. Zarkov. Then the doctor and Dale Arden told Flash all that had happened while he was under the spell of the wicked Queen's drug. Zarkov persuaded him that he must take over the Blue Magic Land just as he took over the other kingdoms. So Flash went in to see Azura, who, under the spell of her own drug of forgetfulness, failed to recognize him. Azura accepted Flash's claim that he was king, and at his request ordered the entire army of the Blue Magic Men to pass in review before him. While the review was in progress, General Tall sneaked to the balcony on which Flash, Dale, Zarkov, and Azura were standing, and attempted to plunge his sword into Flash's back. But Dale spied Tall just as he drew his sword and gave the alarm, and Flash whirled in time to parry the blow and gave battle. In the duel, Flash knocked Tall's sword from his hand. Then he threw him over the balcony rail onto the parade ground below. When Flash saw that Tall was still alive after his fall, he ordered him carried away and his wounds dressed. Dr. Zarkov then warned Flash that he should have killed Tall. These thrilling adventures come to you as they are pictured each Sunday in the big full-page Comic Weekly, the world's greatest pictorial supplement of humor and adventure. The full-page Comic Weekly, each page printed in full colors, is distributed everywhere as an integral part of your Hearst Sunday newspaper. Now we continue the story. When the Blue Magic soldiers see General Tall hurled among them, they stop marching and begin to voice their anger. Dr. Zarkov senses a crisis.
You should not have done that, lad. If we do not have a rebellion on our hands, we will be lucky. Listen to those angry soldiers.
You're right, Zarkov. I should have stopped to realize what throwing that fellow off here would do. There's no voicing regret. We must act and act at once.
Flash, darling, what are you going to do?
Azura, raise your hands and get the attention of the soldiers. You can quiet them down and then explain the situation to them.
As you command, my king. Azora's getting them quiet. That was a great idea, Flash. What shall I say to them, my king?
Tell them that fellow made a cowardly attack on their king.
What is the fellow's name? I never saw him before in my life.
His name is Tal.
Soldiers! That man, Saul, made a cowardly attack on your king.
Let that be a lesson to anyone who may try to follow his example.
Let that be a lesson to any who may try to follow his example.
All I ask is their loyalty, and they will find me a just and kind ruler.
All His Majesty asks is your loyalty, and you will find him a just and kind ruler.
Dismiss the review.
Dismiss the review.
Neatly done, lad. What diplomacy. That was a stroke of genius.
Yes, Flash. It was wonderful the way you averted trouble.
It was a lucky thought, friend. And I think we should take good care of this little lady. She may be able to serve us in other emergencies.
The very thing.
Dale! Friend Zarkov! Are you all right? That sounds like Khan. Why, so it is. Greetings, Khan, my friend.
Oh, Your Majesty.
You recognize me?
Flash Gordon is himself again, Captain Khan.
Thanks be to Tall. I knew all along that this Azura was... Azura is in the same unfortunate state I was in, Khan. I happened to get hold of a flagon of the drug Bacco.
You mean, Your Majesty, that Exactly, Captain Khan, and now Azura's memory is gone.
There is justice after all, then. That's the best thing I've heard outside of your recovery, Your Majesty. Thank you, Khan. I have an assignment of duty which I think you may enjoy, yes?
A big teddy bear.
You are to guard Azura for us. See that no one gets within speaking distance of us. They will get to her only over my dead body, Your Majesty. I'm sure of that, my friend. That's why I put her in your custody. May I take her to the kitchen and let her stir soup, Your Majesty? Why do you ask that?
I know, Flash. Khan wishes to give her a taste of what we've been through.
You were both made to do that? Yes, Your Majesty. And Princess Dale was caned to the soul. I'll remember that in case Azura disobeys my orders. But for the present, let her have the freedom of her quarters under your watchful eye, Count. Yes, Your Majesty. Come with me, Azura.
Your Majesty, I thought I was to rule this land.
You are, under my orders. My first one is that you obey me in all things. Go to your quarters.
As my king commands. Come there.
I can't stand that woman around, Flash. I'm glad you sent her away.
Now, Dale, really.
I'm sorry, but I can't help feeling that way. What are we going to do now?
Look the palace over. Zarkov, you take the west wing.
Very well.
Dale and I will take the east wing. Let us find the throne room.
Oh, the throne room. Yes, let's. I'm dying to see that. All I've seen are the kitchens and Azora's private dining room.
The palace is yours, Dale. But until we have everything completely under control, I wouldn't get too far away from Zarkov or Khan or me.
I won't. Don't worry.
May I make a suggestion?
Of course. What is it?
We are absolutely without any means of protecting ourselves except by our swords. Let us search for some means of defense as we look for the throne room.
A most excellent suggestion. Zarkov, I don't know what I'd do without you. By all means, let us collect weapons for our protection. On with the search.
And so our friends inspect the palace of Queen Azura. They are tempted to stop in almost every room they enter because of the beauty of the hangings and furnishings. But the object of their search leads them on, and finally Flash and Dale are rewarded when they push aside two massive metal doors.
A little further to help. Now, push. There, we've got them open.
Flash, this is the Queen's throne room.
Oh, it is. There's the throne down there. How hollow it sounds in here.
That's because the room is so huge and empty. See? There's nothing in here but the throne at the top of those marble steps.
Plainer than I thought it would be. It's the blue magic insignia. 3 triangles on the black velvet drape. A plain marble throne.
It's plain, but it's majestic and terribly impressive. And it seems so far away. There's no place for me to sit with you.
You shall sit at my feet on the very top step, sweetheart. Come, I'll show you.
Oh, you sat in the throne without any speech or ceremony or anything.
This is just a rehearsal, Dale. Maybe I'll make a speech later. Sit down there, dearie. There, that's it.
I hope your Majesty will forgive my mentioning it, but this marble step isn't anything soft to sit on.
When we hold court, you'll have cushions galore, Dale. We're just getting our stage positions. The scenery and costumes will come later.
I hope so.
And you don't sound very confident.
Well, we didn't find any weapons, Flash.
No.
I hope Dr. Zarkov had better luck.
Yes, our position would be more assured if we had found some means of defense. I wonder where Zora keeps her ammunition.
Personal or military?
Dale.
Sorry, Flash. I just happen to think she's probably vamping Kong right this minute.
I doubt it.
Oh, I don't think she's succeeding, but I'm sure she's trying.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if she were trying myself.
That black and white square design in the floor is attractive, don't you think, Flash?
Yes.
But I do hope they have a big crimson carpet that reaches from the throne to the door for safe occasions.
Flash, Dale.
Zarkov. Stay in here, Dr. Zarkov. Here we are.
I see you have found his throne room.
There's someone with him. Who is it?
I don't know. I never saw him around here before.
Yes, we found the throne room, Zarkov. That door was down.
I found this man and he broke his life.
Just flash, Zarkov, old friend. What have you there?
This is groundkeeper Azura's paralyzing gas globe.
Your Majesty, what did the globe for?
It's plate and drum.
Humans can use globes and weapons will instantly paralyze anyone within range of them. If they strike anyone in exploding, they will die on the spot. Very interesting, son. There you go. Now leave those globes here. Good work, Dr. Rock. Now we are able to defend ourselves. In a strenuous day, let us retire to our quarters. Tomorrow, we will take over the kingdom by force.
A short time later in the officers' quarters, General Tal is discussing something.
If it hadn't been for that girl, Dale Arden, I'd have killed that ex-prisoner who styles himself king.
That's true, General Tal.
And say, Queen Azura announced to the army that I made a cowardly attack.
Yes, General. He said this self-made king was only defending himself, as any of us would have done. Didn't she, comrade?
That's right, comrade.
They must have given her some of that lithium.
You think Queen Azura is drugged?
She must be to make statements like that. We must rescue her, restore her memory, and put her back in power.
Yes, General.
Then we'll recapture these fancy prisoners who are playing kings for the day. And this time, I'll make a good job of that Flash Gordon.
We'll help you, General Tal. You can count on us. Can't he, comrade?
Yes, General, you can count on us.
And we'll get some others who'll rebel with us.
Good. That's spoken like true blue magic men.
General Tal. General Tal.
Yeah, who's that?
It's Grum.
Grum, well, what is it?
General Tal.
Yes.
The enemy has got some of the gas globes.
Not all of them. Grum, they didn't get all of them.
No, sire, only about a dozen. I smuggled out some of the gas masks. Here they are.
Excellent, excellent. You will be rewarded for this, Grum.
Thank you, General Tal. I did it for my country and my queen.
Find Azura, and we'll attack the enemy.
Grum searches the palace in his attempt to find Azura. He tries door after door. Finally, he sees a light shining through a grilled, transparent door. He looks in and finds...
God, why do you stand there with that gun in your hand?
I have my orders to keep my eye on you, Azora.
What have I done? Why am I a prisoner?
You aren't a prisoner, Azora. I'm only protecting you.
Well, if you're a bodyguard, why can't you relax? Come and sit down here beside me.
Oh, no.
Why not? Are you afraid of me?
Listen, Azora, I'm afraid of no one, man or woman. I simply am not interested. If there is nothing I can do for your comfort, I'll go outside and stand guard in the hall.
Oh, very well. Bring me some vodka.
I'll get some and be right back. Here, you. What are you doing here?
I was just seeing if Azura was well guarded.
He is. I'm here. Now, get out. And stay out.
Certainly. Sir.
Late that night, the masked rebels are led by Grum to Azura's quarters. From their position on top of a high wall,
blow some of the sleep gas on the enemy guards.
At once, General Tao.
That's taken care of them. Now, where is Azura?
Right this way, General. There, see? There's the guard who ordered me away. He's asleep across Azura's doorway.
Give him a shot of the gas, Grum.
With pleasure.
Now, let's get Azura.
Look, there she is, asleep.
I'll awaken her. Azura. Azura.
She doesn't move, is she?
No, she's not dead. She's breathing all right. She may be exhausted and sleeping soundly.
But General Tao, they may have drugged her so she wouldn't be able to escape.
No matter. Asleep or drugged, carry the Queen to safety. Then on to kill Flash Gordon.
will Saul succeed in restoring Azura to the throne? And what will happen to our friends Dale, Flash, and Zarko? Follow the picture version of these thrilling adventures in the big full-page comic weekly, which is distributed with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. In order to completely enjoy the radio program, you should know what Flash Gordon and Dale Arden look like, and Saul, Dr. Zarko, Queen Azura, Khan, and the other amazing characters who appear in this series. You'll find them all vividly portrayed in full-colored action pictures each Sunday in the big comic weekly and only in the comic weekly. This marvelous comic weekly, the world's foremost collection of humor and adventure, is published in full-page size and is just crammed full of the funniest merrymakers and the most daring adventurers in the world of pictures. So be sure to get the big full-page comic weekly next Sunday with your Hearst Sunday newspaper. And don't forget our date next week at the same time for the next chapter in the amazing interplanetary adventures of Flash Gordon.